getting to the news of the day, this is an important way to start. You know, a lot of times I will have one of our contributors come on and say a few words. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. And I want to start with this.
What makes them mad about it? What makes them mad about it is that they have black people and white poor people and red poor people and Puerto Rican poor people and Latin American Puerto Rican people of poor people of all descent. They had them caught up in movements based on racism when the Black Panther Party stood up and said that we don't care what anybody says. We don't think you fight fire with fire best. We think you fight fire with water best. We're going to fight racism, not with racism, but we're going to fight with solidarity. We said we're not going to fight capitalism with black capitalism, but we're going to fight it with socialism. We stood up and said we're not going to fight reactionary pigs and reactionary state's attorneys like this and reactionary state's attorneys like Hanrahan with any other reactions on our part. We're going to fight their reactions with all of those people to get together and have an international proletarian revolution. Right on. Right on.
That was Fred Hampton. That was Fred Hampton. And let's get back to here. Let's get a better view of this. Here's the quote that Haymarket Books, really good radical book publisher, highlighted here. We're going to fight racism not with racism. We're going to fight it with solidarity. We say we're not going to fight capitalism with black capitalism, but we're going to fight it with socialism. And as you can see, he was speaking to an audience of black people and white people. He was speaking to a group of people, and he knew that the issue, the big issue, the big issue, he knew that what was going on was not black versus white. Was there racism? Of course there was, and there still is. And racism is, of course, a big thing, an ugly thing, a disgusting thing. But Fred Hampton and Martin Luther King, they were really able to really dig deep, and they realized, wait a second, everybody. This isn't about black versus white. This is about the ruling class and everyone else. And it's time for us to stand in solidarity. And they brought those messages. Martin Luther King brought that message. You never hear about that part. They don't teach you that part in school. They teach you the I Have a Dream speech, which was a beautiful speech, don't get me wrong. But they don't teach you the other parts, that he was going against capitalism. And that's when they shot and killed him. And why do I bring up Fred Hampton today? Well, because 50 years ago to the day, Fred Hampton, because of messages like the one we just played, was shot and killed at point blank range through a coordinated effort of the Chicago police and the FBI. The FBI was keeping tabs on him. And when they heard him saying stuff like this, when they heard Fred Hampton speaking about socialism, speaking about working class solidarity, and they saw black people and white people responding positively to his message. By the way, he was 21 years old. It's pretty impressive. 21-year-old with a message like this, inspiring all these groups of people. 21 years old. Who knows what he could have gone on to do? But somebody stirring the pot like that at 21, imagine what they can do when they're in their 30s, then in their 40s. Imagine what they could do in the future. Man, we got to take that person out. We got to take that person out. And, well, Ron, are you sure that's what went down? Yeah, I am. This isn't some conspiracy theory. This is well documented. In fact, I'll prove it to you. Check this out. This is Fred Hampton's Wikipedia page. Again, 21 years old when he died, first of all. 21 years old. Cause of death, gunshot, point blank range. Fred Hampton, and this is Wikipedia, by the way. This isn't some fringe conspiracy site. I know Wikipedia has its issues. I'm not saying Wikipedia is perfect. The reason I bring Wikipedia up is because, look, this is front and center is my point. This is, everybody knows this. This is commonly held. Everyone knows this is the truth. No one disputes it. Fred Hampton was an American activist and revolutionary socialist. Well, powers that be did not like that. He came to prominence in Chicago as chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. Because of his strong leadership, the FBI identified Hampton in 1967 as a radical threat and began to try to subvert his activities in Chicago, sowing disinformation among these groups and placing a counterintelligence operative in local Panthers. In December of 1969, Hampton was shot and killed in his bed during a pre-dawn raid at a Chicago apartment by a tactical unit by Cook County State's Attorney's Office in conjunction with the Chicago Police Department and the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Here's a less diplomatic way of making that statement, a less neutral, soft way of making that statement. Because Fred Hampton was speaking about the evils of capitalism, and because he was speaking about solidarity between all of the working class, black and white, the ruling class, the powers that be, really didn't like that. They really didn't like that because they wanted people divided, because they knew the more divided people were, the more they could just have their agenda and have their way and maintain the status quo. Fred Hampton spoke out against that, and people were listening. So they put moles inside his organization. And then when they decided this guy's really compelling, we're going to have a hard time shutting him up, the FBI decided to break into his apartment and shoot him in point blank range. He was 21 years old. And not much has changed, folks. Not much has changed in regards to how the FBI behaves. A lot has changed in our society since 1969. A lot of it for the better, a lot of it for the worse too. A little bit of everything. But the way the FBI behaves, the way the ruling class behaves, that has not really changed. And it's 50 years ago to the day, December 4th, 1969, where Fred Hampton was shot and killed because of that message we just played. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of memorials out there, especially in the local Chicago media. Talking about what happened. Truth Out has a good article about it as well. The thing most mind-blowing to me, other than just the fact that, this is something the FBI does. This is something, this man was speaking about solidarity amidst the working class. He was speaking about socialism and the evils of capitalism. He got shot and killed because of that. The most mind-blowing part, 21 years old. I mean, look at that video. That's so impressive. And impressive is just putting it gently. 21 years old. And these are people, a lot of the people in that audience that we saw, they looked way older than him. Like, these were people of all ages, in all backgrounds, listening to this guy. He was 21 years old. And that's part of the reason the FBI had to get rid of him, because they knew, man, if he's pulling this off at 21 years old, he's doing this. Imagine what he can do as he gets older. I don't know what else to say. I mean, rest in power, Fred Hampton, 50 years ago to the day that the FBI shot and killed a 21-year-old young adult. You don't want to say kid, but really it's like, dude, 21. Your life's just getting started. You're just getting started at 21. Or at least you should be. Fred Hampton didn't get that, though, because he was speaking out. The powers that be didn't like that. Oh, rest in power, Fred Hampton.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your